I am so glad that a certain contestant did not win Deb's house. Season 4, episodes 3 through the finale. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for our tea televised. It's time for our tea televised. It's time for our tea televised. Our tea televised.
Welcome back, everybody. Where y'all been? I have not been seeing y'all in my reviews. Just kidding. I'm back to wrap up the season of Deb's House. It was absolutely my intention to cover every episode one by one. But of course, life started lifing. So I could not wrap it up. But I want to make sure that I do cover this for the rest of the season. We're going to be starting off where we left off at season 3 of Deb's house. Now, this was the first time that I have decided to cover it. We're season 4, right? And I didn't cover it before, and I don't know whether or not I'll cover it again, but I don't know. The jury's still out on it. Okay. But anyway, this was a very interesting show. It was very different from what I am used to covering. And so we're just gonna go head on and get into it. I'll talk about it. Welcome to the podcast. Let me see. I want to make sure that I get the name of the show and what was going on downtown to Deb's house. So the last one that we ended up going into was episode 3 was messy as hell. And so at this point we have all the girls in the house and they are, going through a whole bunch of stuff. Wait a minute, let me make sure that that's the right. No. We did not do. Hold on. Did we do on the spectrum? I don't know whether or not we did on the spectrum. So let's talk about on the spectrum. So of course we all have been watching week after week as Deb gives what's the child's name? Let me bring her up, child. As she gives Miss Amber special privileges. In downtown to the house, Darcia and Tara E have been in the bathroom saying that they believe that she is slated to win. Deb brought all the girls together and told the girls that she didn't know anybody. That's not her style. She don't play those type of games and stuff like that. And so Amber, of course, we all know has had some fits. She was out in the parking lot, going off and all of that kind of stuff. Why is this dog barking? Excuse my dog barking. I think they're playing. Okay. So anyway, Deb is, giving her all these, treatments, special treatments and stuff like that. But I must say that Darcia is a pastor and you don't want somebody who's going to be in the house consistently and constantly stirring the pot. And I'm sorry, that is just who she is. She's from Baltimore, I believe. And she just got that edge to her that, you just gotta be, I don't know. You just, hi Deirdre, hi George. You just gotta, I don't know, you gotta love her. Anyway, they have a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in the house. Deb has been wanting Amber to tell them, that she's autistic. And so they have a competition where, Amber gets up and she, is singing a song and everything. Everything to me sounds like an ad lib. It doesn't sound like, it's something she's going to be able to go back to the next time. I don't like that about her. She has not been one of my favorites because I feel like, and like this girl right here was absolutely talented, but she had a whole bunch of stuff going on in the house with Darcia. And the thing about it is, what I've noticed from Deb House and other shows, you got to watch the company that you keep. Probably if she wasn't hanging up underneath Darcia, she probably would not have went home. I don't know, whatever. She had a very powerful R&B type of sound. I had already described her before as somebody who could go between R&B and gospel. Like, she came from a rough life, so I'm sure that she got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. But I mean, she just did not do that. She produced that type of energy because she was hanging up under Little Miss Baltimore. So of course, every time something was going down, her name was being caught up. Of course, we all know that this child stayed in the house much longer than she should have stayed in the house because she just absolutely did not have any talent whatsoever. So, Kiwi the girls are arguing back and forth. And Deb is saying, no, I don't have this to do. Darcia, gets up on the stage. I mean, not Darcia, Amber gets up on the stage and everything and says that she has high functioning autism, through her song. And then this is what Deb and them wanted from her. They wanted her to be upfront about, who she was, what was going on with her, and all that kind of stuff. And that episode was called On the Spectrum. So then they had the next one, which was Behind the Mask, where, they had to go and meet with the some guy in the studio. I can't even remember what his name was. And they had to go and meet with him and everything, and they were singing and he was criticizing them and stuff like that. The girls are still going through the stuff that they're going on in the house, and Deb is like at this point tired. She has already warned these girls and told them, look, I can see everything that's going on downtown to the house. So I don't know why, they did not do this. In this particular episode, they all had to make a decision about, who was going to be going home. So they had, no, okay. So did I do the episode, y'all, when they was in the look, I'm just gonna freestyle. Okay. At the end of the day, they had to do this exercise where they had put the girls together. They put three of them together and told them that they needed to sing with one another and knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. So it was Kim, Ashley, and AJ. They were all teamed up together. Um, the other team was, let me look through these pictures. Okay, so it was, the other team was Amber, Audrey. Let me see if I can bring y'all Audrey up. Or did I delete her stuff? I may have deleted her stuff. I think I did. That's not her. No, that's Live Free. I should have been deleted that. What's the child's? Where is she at? Child deleted her ass. Anyway, so of course we all know that Amber, of course, has autism, and at the end of they all have to sing together, and then they have to pick one person out of the group of three that they are going to be sending home. And so when they're doing it, Amber is saying, basically, I don't want to, do this. This is something I don't want to do. However, she was absolutely fine with sending Darcia home. She had no problem with sending Darcia and Tara E home, who eventually went home because Darcia could not keep her Baltimore mouth shut. I don't understand how people, I know that when they cast for these shows, right, they cast these people based on different things, right? They want to have the quiet girl, which I believe was Audrey. They want to have the controversial girl. They want to have the ghetto ratchet girl. They want to have this, right? But at the end of the day, I know that this is a show and the production is looking at different things. I am fully aware that things get clipped and snipped and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think that when they have these opportunities, they should absolutely take advantage of the opportunities. Now, Deb kept saying that, she did not have a whole lot of time to be there and to, make these decisions and these cuts and stuff. But she kept AJ. And I could not understand. But again, it's the mothering part of her that wanted to keep this girl on board. And I just thought that it was wrong for the rest of them who probably needed mothering. I know that Tar E had mentioned that, she was a prostitute, she was on drugs and all of that kind of stuff. She lost her mother to death. And, she said right now her father, she needed mothering from Deb. AJ was just, AJ by her own admission and said out of her own mouth. So don't look at me all crooked and saying that I said this. But she had absolutely came out there and said that the only reason why she knows the thing that makes her um, 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 stand out is the fact that she's white. So anyway, the girls have a competition with one another, and this competition they've got to get together in groups of threes, and again they have to say who was the weakest link, and so Deb has to make a decision about who was going home. Ashley and oh my God, AJ decided that they wanted Big Kim to go home. But Deb said her home is dead. She had already sent Darcia home for running her mouth because Darcia was saying she ain't a snitch. She was trying to indicate that she wasn't the one that had all the drama and stuff going on in the house. But of course, we all know that she did. She absolutely did. I ended up liking Ashley, but Ashley was going along with the get along, in my opinion. And I don't like somebody who doesn't have an opinion, a strong opinion, one way or the other. Audrey seems like she was the one who was trying to keep it together for everybody. And I just was like, okay, like really, that's not your job. That's Big Deb's job. Anyway, so of course they went home. Now on the next episode, we watched Big Kim. They all had to go down to a radio station to have an interview. And when they went down to the interview to talk to, they had an interview with Hot 97. And he wanted to be familiar with who were the last four contestants. So at this point, the last four contestants are Amber, Audrey, Big Kim, and Ashley. And I hope I'm saying her name right. I hope her name is Audrey, because y'all know I will jack a name up in a heartbeat. But anyway, I digress, child. So they have this meeting down at Hot 97, and he is getting to know them. Deb is talking about the show and telling him that they're gonna have this big old um 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 show, and these are the last four contestants, and she wanted to give them a little spotlight and stuff like that. So he starts asking questions about each one of the contestants and just trying to get a feel for who they were, allowing them to say some things. And then he got to Big Kim, and when he got to Big Kim, he basically criticized Big Kim for being an older woman. Now, I took absolute offense to this because I thought that it was unfair. If we're going to talk about age, let's talk about age all around. Let's not let's not isolate this woman because of her age. So she sat there, and this woman has been causing problems in the house too. Let's not get it twisted. She's been causing problems in the house too. And when she was causing the problems in the household, one of the things that she kept saying repeatedly over and over again is, I can leave. I can just go home. And that was one of the things that the two girls used against her when they had to make a decision on who went home, and rightfully so. They was like, well, she act like she don't need to be here. So she comes back in the house. Deb gives them a day off. They go and interview the next day with Hot 97, and they had to sing in the park. I thought that was stupid, but anyway. So she, being an older woman in the house, got a little bit from him, and she was saying that she's not too old to do this. Dick that patty rack, give a dog a bone. Child, next thing you know, she's back at the daggone house talking about she, going to do a gospel show. We find out that she has been incarcerated. She said that she had a bad relationship. Her kids don't mess with her. Don't nobody mess with her. She's the one who has come with all these accolades about who she is, who she sung with. And the girls found out from Deb that she didn't even audition for it like the rest of them. As you all remember, this show, the premise of this show was to take a normal person off of TikTok. Deb did all her auditions on TikTok. And she was going to bring all of these people and make them famous, make one of them famous. So they had the young lady who won last season to come on, or last season, I believe it was. So she came into the house, and she was going to be doing a piece. Hello, sweetie. I think something's been going on with the comments. I don't know what it is, but I think something's been going on with the comments. I noticed the other day when that came out that there was something wrong with it, and I could not figure what it was, but I think that there is absolutely something going on with the comments. So yeah, that part. But anyway, welcome everybody. So she had all these accolades of all these people and stuff like that she sung with, but she has no character. She is in my opinion, and she's a very hard woman. Very hard woman. I mean, I'm talking about a hard woman with a hard knocks life. It's on my teeth. With a hard knocks life, and she has no compassion for those girls who are coming behind her. None. And I thought that that was going to be her downfall. And the thing about it is, they automatically know that Deb is listening to everything that they are doing. So why she thought that she was not being seen for the mean person that she was. Although I did not think that a lot of these girls were talented enough to stay in, right? I thought that some of these girls absolutely needed to go home. I did not like the way that she treated them and the way that she talked to them. But once she opened up her mouth when Deb came to the house, when Deb found out that she had talked to the producer about doing another show, that's when I saw the cowardly lion that she was, because she should have said what she needed to say to Deb. And Deb said, why would you go all this way and take a slot from someone else? So they ended up sending AJ home, right? But Deb said, it was really you that I wanted to go home. It won't her. You took a slot from somebody who really wanted this. Period. And it wasn't right for her to do that. But she didn't care that she took a slot from somebody else. She didn't care that she was perpetrating a fraud. She didn't care that she really had extremely low self esteem and was just a nasty person. She didn't care. Now, do I think that AJ should have been the one to stay? No. I think that they should have worked with Dacia or Tar E because I thought that they were talented. I thought that they had enough in them to be workable. And one thing that I have learned is that you have to be workable and you got to be trainable. If you're not workable and trainable, there's nothing and not enough money in the world to be able to get you to do what they need you to do. And so when she left, I was like, good riddance. Don't bring nobody back in the house to make up for her. Don't give somebody else a second chance. If they gone, their ass is gone. And of course, she was gone. And I was glad that she was gone because it was absolutely horrible. Now the girls are getting ready for, they're down to their final three. And the episode was called Gone with the Wig. And the girls are now realizing that they are the final three and that they need to start prepping for it. So, they have an opportunity to call their family, let them know about the ball, and to tell, send them, give them an invite with the hopes that they're going to be able to come. And so, of course, Amber, who I had always been wondering during the season what was really going on between her and her mom. When she called her mom was like, I can't come. This is the last minute. Why wouldn't they say anything about this before? And Amber always has felt like she has not really been supported by her mother. And I was like, oh, okay. But she felt like she hadn't been supported by her mother, and her mother showed, I'm not going to support you. Okay, she just didn't. Ashley, let's find Ashley. Let me see if I got Ashley on here. Ashley has been in the process of this whole experiment or show or whatever you want to call it. She, has been talking about her breast cancer, the fact that she has kids and a baby daddy. But then she discloses to us that, her girlfriend has been helping with the kids as well. Some kind of way her and the kids her and the girlfriend got into a spat, and the girl wasn't taking her phone calls and all of that kind of stuff. So Ashley was a little bit thrown off her game. But Audrey was the one that was always, and I swear I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. But Lacey, because I feel like I am saying her name wrong. I don't know why. I just do. Yes, Audrey. Okay, Audrey. I said it right. Okay. I said it right. It is okay. I gotta check myself. Okay. So she was going through problems and stuff like that. At this point now, they have to change and present to people. And of course, you need a makeup team, a wardrobe team. So Deb gets all of that stuff together because she wants them to be at their best. They have a gentleman to come in and he has gowns for them to try on. As we all know, Ashley is in remission from breast cancer. She's, been cured from breast cancer. And so she doesn't have one of her breasts. And so, they accommodate her with a dress. And she looked absolutely stunning. I loved it. I thought that she was absolutely beautiful. And then we had Audrey, of course, who has been going through, she's been battling with self-esteem issues because of who her grandmother is, and then just being coupled up with her sister, being in her sister's life and her sister in her life. It just was like, okay. And then we have Amber. They take Amber and tell Amber that she has to change her hair. that they give her a dress. She feels beautiful in the dress, but of course we all know she's a ticking time bomb, as Deb has said repeatedly over and over. And so she decides, she wears big hair all the time. They decided they're going to give her a weave. And so they braid her hair down and all of that kind of stuff. You all, any of you all who have weaves, right? They're giving her a weave and a wig, all that. She decides that she's going to go in her room and change her hair. After this girl sat there and braided her hair, washed it, did all the kind of stuff to prepare her for this, and she goes in and takes it out and makes a decision that she gonna wear her hair the way she wants to wear her hair. Everybody else is doing what they need to do in order to get their hair done. She don't care. She's her own person and her own worst enemy. She is absolutely unpredictable. When Deb went in to talk to her about this incident, and then there was another incident where she started that crying, Deb said, I ain't got that to do. No, you ain't crying through this. And I was like, okay, Deb, you growing up. Because the girl has been acting like this whole entire time, in my opinion, with your permission. She's gotten away with this crying through everything behavior with Deb's permission, and Deb been going with it the whole entire time. But when she took that hair out and disrespected that hairstylist and the time, and disrespected the fact that Deb, was gotta pay for that, like that's money. That's money wasted. She decides she's gonna come out and do her own thing. And wonder why don't nobody want to support her because she's so flippy floppy. Deb was pissed. Pissed. I'd have put her out. You don't be coming in there wasting nobody's daggone time. Like for what? Like why would you do that? So the girls are, going through the changes and what is making them strong, what's making them weak, at the end of the day, they all have the ball. Prior to that, one of the guys, I can't think of his name, he came in and he told Amber that he feels close to her because his son has autism. And I'm like, okay, there's a bias here. And I don't like biases. I don't like them at all. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on, y'all. Let me see, because I want to at least show the girl picture one time. Let me see if they got any images out here of her. Let's see. Okay, so I have a picture of her. So the girls sing their songs, the original songs that they wrote. Of course, they said that, Amber has a unique sound to her. As the judges, she has the young lady from, let me just bring her name on. Just 1 second, yo. Just 1 second. I'm going to try to see the pictures of it. Let me show who the judges were. I don't know why I can't recall their names. But that's because I think I got a lot of other stuff on my mind for some reason, and I shouldn't. Is that it? So these were the judges, the two judges. I know that she's with. Oh my God, why can't I think of the name of the group she's with? I just cannot think. And of course, Kiki, but I cannot think of the name of the group. Why can't I think about it? There's something in me that want to say SWV. I swear I think that that's who she's with. Y'all correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but I believe that she is with SWV. Okay, yeah, y'all said okay, yes, auntie, okay. Thank you, y'all. She is with SWV, and she came in as a judge to just kind of help Deb along. Of course, we all know that Deb is the person who is going to be selecting, and so the first person that comes out and sing is Audrey, and she sings her song. I read it, tried it, did it, and died it. I don't know what the title was. They didn't say. And then the next person that comes out and sings is Audrey, and she sings about autism. Lily from SWB. Thank you, Crystal H. Thank you, love. So she sings that, right? And then we have Ashley to come out and sing her song Beautiful. I think that was the name of it. I was really, really, I don't know how many of y'all have watched the show or y'all just hopping on here with me. I was really impressed with Ashley. Ashley still, of course, in my opinion, has a lot of work to do. You're gonna have to put a lot of work in Ashley. She still is off. Um, vocally, she's a little challenged. And I don't mean that in a mean way, y'all. I just mean she doesn't have that je ne sais quoi, if that's what you call it. I don't know. She just doesn't have the stage presence. She did not finish her song because she got emotional. And in business, people want you to finish that song. You can cry, but we need you to give us, like, give it to me. Like, I don't want to go and see Chris Brown and he crying through stuff. I need you to get out there and spin, jump, do whatever you're going to do, motivate me. I need Anita Baker to la 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 la. Y'all understand what I'm saying? When we met, always knew. I need her to get to the end of caught up in the rapture of love. Y'all understand what I'm saying? La la la. Because there's certain things from them that we want. Like, we in the car, we know them songs from the beginning to the end, especially if our people, and we need you to finish all the way through. Like, don't cut it off. And even though her story is powerful, we've seen her grow up on the show. That stage presence, we need that. And she got off the stage. She was on the stage. She was in emotional wreck because we were no longer hearing lyrics. And I need the lyrics. I need you to sing, boo. Cry later. Like Darcy has said, cry when you get a Grammy. But I liked her song. I liked the lyrics. You're beautiful. But that's been done before as well, right? Because I can think of this other song. You're beautiful. You're beautiful to me. I can't think of who sings it. But like that's been done already. And Dave and them was all emotional about it and stuff like that, and sitting at the table and crying. I just was like, wait a minute, what's we crying about? And then when Amber got out there and she was singing about autism, again, it just was a whole bunch of yelling. I felt like she was God, I'm trying not to be hard on this girl. Felt like she was ad-libbing. I didn't feel like it was really any lyrics to it other than in the beginning when she was, saying, I think different and I like to be alone. Y'all, y'all, was it me? Is it just me? I couldn't get with it. I just like I could not get with it. And I didn't like Audrey's song. I thought that Audrey's stage presence was just walking back and forth. And when I used to give vocal lessons, it is one thing to walk back and forth, right, on the stage. You want to be engaging, but you want to be grounded. I felt like she never got grounded, if that makes sense. I thought that she should have won because I thought that she was the most trainable and teachable. And I thought that she was someone that you could work with for the long haul. But when she did her song, she never grounded. And that bothered me a lot. Because if I don't teach you anything else and doing vocal lessons and stuff like that, I'm going to teach you to ground. You have to make a connection with the people. Whether that is, excuse me, standing in one place and telling your story through the song, and it gotta be believable, whether it's upbeat or not. And I didn't feel like what Audrey was saying was believable, but I thought that Deb should have picked her because she can be trained. Her parents came up, Ashley's family came up. Amber had no one who showed up for her. And I don't know if that's because of Amber or what. I ain't gonna get into the psychology of that because that ain't none of my business. But she had no one to show up for her. And I'm like, she ain't got a cousin or nothing. I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. But you gotta ground yourself. And that never happened. So the winner, of course, I'm sure that many of you all already know, the winner of Deb's house, drum roll please, was Audrey. She was the winner. Audrey, you should have gotten it. She is the granddaughter of Lolita Holloway. She has been on Disney. No, she's been on Broadway. And she is just more poised than the rest of the girls. Okay? She should have won. Um, because Deb knew that having to work with Audrey was going to be challenging with her autism. And not just challenging with her autism, but her inability to take criticism, correction, and wisdom. Because when they changed her look, she should have went with that look. That hair look a matted mess up there. And you could be an individual when you make that paper. But as long as you under on somebody's payroll, you need to be what they tell you to be. And that is the thing about the music industry. Um, what you saying, baby? I like Ashley's song better, but was rooting for Audrey the whole time. We right there together. Me, we. I see you, you see me, we see each other because I did like Ashley's song better than everybody's, but I absolutely was rooting for Audrey because she was teachable. She wasn't hung up in all the drama. She didn't need to be. She was focused on what she needed to be focused on. She said her stuff when she said her stuff, right? She spoke her speech, but she was just more of a. I'm sure if Deb watched her throughout the house and watched the cameras, she was teachable and trainable, and that's what you want. You don't want a whole bunch of fucking drama. Like, don't nobody want all of that mess going on and somebody out in the parking lot in the rain with boots on and a dress with the slit all the way up the thigh, screaming and hollering, saying you just don't want to like. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. No, ain't nobody got time. She just had. And the thing about it is, she carried herself in a very mature way. Now, when she was doing her little recordings and stuff like that, she was funny, talking her talk. But for the most part, she was the best one for the job. So did pick the right person. Um, who do I think Deb would have wanted to pick? Amber. Amber herself out because Deb loved her sound. She loved the fact that she had a different sound. And I don't care if you give me the same song as long as the same sound sounds right. I remember when Lettucey first came out. Oh my God, was I running behind? Lettucey had multiple opportunities to meet her here in the DC area. Like, I love Lettucey. My friends hated Lettucey. I was the only one. If she showed up at the Carter Burn, if you from DC, you know about that Carter Burn. Yeah, she wanted. Yeah, you right, Bella. Bella said she wanted Amber to. Absolutely, she did. But I will go and see Lettucey up at the Carter Burn. I don't care if she was with Chuck Brown on the stage. I've seen her do that. None of my friends like Lettucey when she came out. She was a different sound. She could hit those notes. She was polished and she was ghetto too. I loved her. Now, all my friends like Latticy. Right. What you saying, Miss True? I struggled to connect with Amber. I tried. To me, she sounded more like she was imitating a singer than singing. Absolutely. And all them deep, long breaths. Like, I just, mm-mm. And Ashley was pitchy. Like, Ashley was big time pitchy. And I was like, I mean, the other young lady that they sent home was pitchier, but Ashley was absolutely pitchy and could not get it together. And if you got to cry, you got to finish that song before you know what I'm saying? You could melt down at the end, um, but you got to finish up. And the first thing she said was when she got behind it was like, oh my God, I didn't finish my song, girl. I ain't got to do it. I ain't got to do it. Um, I didn't either, JC. Mm-mm. I did not either. But anyway, that is the end, y'all. Thank y'all so much for the engagement. Thank y'all for coming out to Deb's house. As a content creator, it is very difficult to change content. It is very difficult for people to get along, to come along with you um, as you try to do something right. And then you feel like you boxed in. Like I can't do other content. I got to stay here. While I haven't been consistent, because as many of you all know, I have been dealing with a couple of people in my family with health issues. And I won't disclose all their business because I shouldn't. But to come back and to see y'all in the comment section and to see y'all watch it, I really do appreciate it. Because it's hard to switch content. It is so hard to say, I think I want to go in this direction. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy said, I'll listen to any show you review. Thank you, beloved. But like I said, it is very hard. But I'm gonna keep on doing my thing. And I appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully things will start getting better. I know I got a bunch of videos that I need to catch up on, and this was one of the ones. And I said, so Auntie, you can either do all of them in one night, or you can, space them out. But no, thank you so much. Bless you and prayers to you and your family. We are rocking with you. Thank you so much, Miss Truth. I appreciate that. And of course, y'all know my Ray Della is right here with me. But I love you all. Again, thank you all so much for showing up when I show up. Thank you for having on your notification bells. I'm going to be back in a few minutes. I'm going to try to, I had to get me some sleep, y'all. Y'all, I had to get me some sleep. And so I'll be back. I'm going to try to get something to replenish my soul. And I will talk to y'all later. I love y'all. Bye.